has experience with higher education and textbooks that are really expensive? Please raise your hand. Awesome, that's great to hear. Teachers right now are creating a lot of PowerPoint, PDF files that are really great for the student, but it means a lot of fragmentation for the student in order to keep track of all those files. And that disconnect between the classroom files made by the teacher and the expensive textbooks of only 2 or 3 chapters are really good, opens a lot of opportunities for innovation. And we are creating a software platform that will enable teachers, authors and students to co-create content material for the classroom and build a new content delivery system on top of that, so that the classroom gets better by co-creation between 3 parties. And we are making money through our distribution system. Are there any questions?
What's the name of the company?
Library.
How do you spell it?
It's a variation on library, because we're basically building a guided library of e-courses for education.
What's your background that relates to that?
I study business economics, and one of my teachers had a problem that there wasn't a good book available for her course, and she wanted to create her own book, but through physical distribution with a big publisher, they couldn't have the book available at a normal price for students because it was a very limited quantity. So I helped her creating an e-book through iBooks Other, and basically because of that experiment, we found out that when a teacher is involved in the creation process of content material, you get 30 to 50% increase in student participation in the classroom. And I study business economics, so I'm the CEO in the company. We have a CMO as well as a CTO and 4 developers. And we're now working on our prototype. Internally, we're already testing it, and we hope to roll out in a few months.
Is it focused more on the students, or is it
no,
schools?
We're targeting at teachers, because they're basically the decision maker in this process. We try to go through management, but in our experience, there's too much bureaucracy in the management layer of schools to go through that layer. So we're going to innovate bottom up instead of top down.
Did you establish some partnerships in the US?
Sorry?
Have you got any partnerships with schools in the US? Any?
I arrived 2 weeks ago in the US, so I've not made a lot of partnerships yet, but at Drake University, the CEO, Andy Tang, already showed interest in possibly development of rollout at the Drake University as a pilot. And I'm on 2 boards in the Netherlands related to advisory on school topics. And I have connections with over 20 universities, and they have all shown interest.
Excellent. That should be a part of the pitch.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure how it was on time, so in my 2-minute pitch it isn't good, but in my 1-minute pitch it's
tough. Good, thank you. So guys, if you can please do some rating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4.5. Yeah. So Sohail, tell me more, what was missing?
I think across all the presentations, I find that I struggle with the name.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's a good habit or something, but maybe you can't have a PowerPoint, but maybe just the name on a piece of paper, very well presented, in a way that it kind of memorized, makes an impression of some sort. And then I think I struggled with the idea in this case. The reason I gave the 2 is because, I'm putting it in the US context and how structured everything is, how hard it is to break out of that mold right now. So I didn't hear anything that would completely change that. So if I was thinking like an investor, I might be reluctant to. So maybe, I guess, more time spent with educators, with high school principals or whatnot will maybe help you understand maybe this market better.
Yeah, that's still one of the things on my to-do list while I'm here is getting a better understanding of the US market. I'm already busy with that. I already made contacts with Stanford University, and I'm planning to go there in the next 2 weeks. So yeah, we are busy with that, but it's all work in progress right now.
And I think maybe you already are going in this direction, but if there is a customized lesson by one teacher, it's probably reusable by others.
Yeah.
So
how it works is an author creates the basic e-course. Teacher from school A can modify that to make sure it works at school A. Teacher B can also modify the basic e-course to make sure it fits school B. So you get a perfect version of an e-course for every school instead of a mass-produced book like we have right now, because that basically is the big pain point in education right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just take 30 seconds of whoever people are actually left here. So I basically, there's this problem that I thought of that I realized that wherever I have reached in my life, I have been able to do that because I had a few people to push me or guide me when I actually needed that. And I realized that if I have to compare myself with people I started back 5 years earlier, the only reason I have been able to do certain things is because somebody actually pushed me, or somebody told me this is right and this is wrong and this is what you need to do. So I have developed an app called Leverage, which is basically a platform for people to get access to the right mentors, be it like for the grad schools or for the business schools. So the competition out there is people like Stacey Blackman, who either charge you a $2,000 rupee package or charge you something like $150 an hour. And but what I am doing is, and they give you expert advice, which is like telling you what you are all about. What I am doing is I'm giving you the experts, plus I'm giving you a few more other things on my application, which is alumni, which is current students, and which is also the admissions team from the horse's mouth itself. So if I am applying to a grad school or a business school, I can actually reach out to alumni from the school, current students, the experts who have spent 15 years in the industry at least, and the admissions teams itself. So it's a very good platform for people to actually get the right advice at the click of a few buttons on the mobile, and at the same time take the right decisions in their careers. And I've built gamification and other business partner strategies on the other side as well, for the mentors to be invested into this. And I already have around 45 schools and 300 plus mentors on board for the program. So we are trying to get the website up, and we are already on Google Play Store, and we would be there on the App Store probably next week or something like that. So that's in 60 seconds nutshell, that's all.
That's pretty good.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
And who's going to be paying the money? Who's putting the bill for?
For?
How do you make money for this idea?
So there are two ways of monetization. One is there's going to be a transaction fee. It's going to have the freemium model where you download the app for free, but beyond a few questions, there are 2 or 3 questions, you would be paying $19.99 or something like that to use the services, which is 1/10 of what you would be paying to the cheapest competitor out there. So that is one thing. And second thing is we're helping the admission teams which are on board reduce the cost of their information outreach. So there's a B2B part of it and the B2C part of it in terms of revenue monetization.
So these admission officers have been willing to...
Yeah, I've got 42 people on board right now. So see, there's a point in it. So when I was in India and I was searching for business schools, I did my MBA from ISB Hyderabad last year, and it's a school in India. So I realized that there are so many people who go to all these information outreach sessions all across the city, and be it a lot of schools in the US, schools in Canada, UK, Europe, Scotland. They're basically spending so much money in terms of booking a 5-star hotel, paying for everyone's coffee, and flying so many people down back to India, or for any other developing economy in fact. So there's a market that these guys are also catering to because they need the right set of students to come to themselves. So that is the need that I thought I could probably fill, and that's what I'm trying to do.
It's great.
So yeah,
Where's
that's
the market? Sorry, where's your principal market?
So I'm going to start with India. I believe in what Peter Thiel said about that capture one market, become a monopoly there, and then probably move to the next market. So that's what I'm going to start with, and then probably move forward, because I see a lot of demand in terms of like you would have actually seen it. Consumer internet is growing in India right now. Like you have mobiles for very cheap, you have data becoming very cheap. So I think that is a market that I want to tap, and then probably take it forward from there.
Have you thought about vice versa, to reverse logic and base it around schools? I mean, sort of you do a consulting package or mentor package for a certain school, and then sort of market it to the guys who want to attend that specific school. And I'm not sure how much you have to localize or tropicalize the stuff.
Exactly.
To fit a certain amount.
I understand. Yeah. So I have thought about it. Right now it is still bootstrapped, but I plan to hire a few people who are into data science and analytics. And once I have those people on board, I'll be able to exactly do that kind of matching to provide them the right advice, which is kind of automated in some manner or the other. So that is my plan once I have some money in my kitty, and probably that's the next step forward. We have thought about that. And that's something really interesting. Thank you for bringing that up. That's about it, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it, guys, right?
Thank you.
Yeah? Yeah. 5, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Obliged.
Thanks, guys. Well, let me call it a wrap now. Thank you.